This move has been met with diverse criticisms from different quarters. But the question is, what are the likely implications of this proposal on the Nigerian civil service? This will be our topic of discussion on this week's edition of Trending on Pensioners 106.7 FM. As we discuss the topic, New Retirement Age Recommendation by Nigerian Governors Forum, the likely effects and implication. Our guests on the program are Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran, the Chairman, Trade Union Congress, Oyo State Council, and Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko, a historian and a public affairs analyst. Join us this Tuesday by 10 a.m. on Pensioners 106.7 FM as we take a critical look at this proposed retirement age as well as other challenges facing the Nigerian civil service. Host is Israel Adejumobi, Trending, giving updates on issues.
Recently, the Nigerian Governors Forum, in a meeting with the President, Muhammadu Buhari, asked the federal government to offer a one-off retirement package to federal civil servants who are 50 years and above so as to exit the service. Expectedly, this proposal has been met with wide criticisms from different quarters, especially the organized labor. According to the organized labor, this move will dampen the nation's economy and bring about inequalities in the nation's civil service. Some concerned individuals are also of the opinion that the state governors should reduce some certain unnecessary expenditures rather than recommending the compulsory retirement of civil servants who are still struggling to eke out a living. But what are the likely implications of this proposed retirement age on the nation's civil service? Is there any positive side to this? This will be our topic of discussion on today's edition of Trending from the Stable of Pensioners 106.7 FM. As we discuss the topic, the new proposed retirement age for civil servants, the likely implications. On behalf of the producer of Trending, Babatunde Tiamiu, the DC on duty, Seun Aoyemi MC Prince, as well as the entire members of the production crew, I am Israel Adejumobi. Once again, I welcome you to Trending, live on Pensioners 106.7 FM. I also have my guest right here with me in the studio, but just before I introduce my guest and get into the program proper for this morning, I'll be taking a short break. We'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back. The program is trending live on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Like I said, at the inception of the program, this morning on the show, we're talking about the new retirement age recommendation by the Nigerian Governors Forum. All right, joining me in this conversation this morning, I have with me the Chairman, Trade Union Congress, TUC, or your State Council, Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Oyo State. Good morning, people in diaspora.
Thank you so much.
You are well done. Pensioner FM, keep it up.
Thank you, and I would also like to congratulate you on your new appointment as the General Manager
Thank you very
of a
much.
Great Credit Corporation of your state. Thank you so congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, it's also right here with me in the studio this morning. With me, a historian and public affairs analyst. With me, Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, our listeners. It's a pleasure to be here
on the show. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. All right, let's get started this morning. Let's get straight to the matter on ground, which has to do with the recent proposal by the Nigerian Governors Forum. In a meeting with the president, they asked the federal government to offer a one-off retirement package to federal civil servants who are 50 years and above, so as to exit the service. Although they've kind of denied that, saying that it is just some certain reports, but according to reports, it was confirmed that they actually had a meeting with the president and they spoke about this, as well as the Stephen Orosai reports as well. But let's talk about the new recommendation, 50 years and above. I will start with Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiran. Your general comments as regards that proposal.
My general comment, is it as a citizen of this country, as a labor leader, as a worker, or what?
All of the above.
All. Fine. I will start by saying, among other suggestions that were made, whether denied or not, it has come into the open. They came up with the fact that if you are 50 years or above, they have forgotten one thing. In the system today, it is no longer civil service. It is civil and public service. So, in doing that, they have shot themselves in the leg. By implication, anybody that is above 50 years cannot even come up to say, I'm campaigning to become this. So, none of them, even Baba Buhari, will go. Yes, that is the fact. The vice president will go. A lot of the governors will go. A lot of people in the house, whether upper or lower chamber, they will all go. Because they are all public servants. We all draw our salary from the nation's account. So, that is why we think, you see, whoever gave that advice did not think out of the box. One, they are losing so many things. They want to lose experience. Look at 50 years. When, in actual fact, that person might just be getting to that position where the experience he has garnered right from its inception will now be becoming fruitful. And they want to discard. Look at the game. Just compare that to a very young football club in England. They call them Bomadioku. I know the club I'm referring to. So, look at, if Nigeria want to behave like that football club, when you raise, you start from very young age, you tender them. At that age when they're supposed to be productive, you pick somebody from 18, 19, and by the time they are getting to 24, 25, you now set them off because you needed money. You needed that free money. Unfortunately, I don't think that club has lifted any trophy, apart from the cups and whatever. So, the same thing, that is what Nigeria is trying to do now. When their experience will be mattered, when it will matter most, they want to dispense of them. That is one. Two, a country that is still owing salary, when many states are owing salary, can they pay the severance allowance of these workers? Or they want to sentence them to the untimely death? So, and three, I told you these people have garnered experience, and these people, they have responsibilities. We are already battling insecurity. Is the government not trying to increase the insecurity in the nation? There are a lot of implications that, and even if the positive one like that people say that maybe it will allow younger blood to come into the service.
Exactly.
Who will guide those younger blood? The economy, the workforce, you just collapse. Bam! What they are, it's just staring them in the face now. Once they do that, let them try it. Once they do that, it will hit them like a tornado and sweep all of them off their feet.
So you're saying that they are also included.
Sure, by implication. They thought they wanted civil servants. Oh, it's been long time ago that the word civil servant has been in existence. We now use civil and public servants. And they are public servants
as well. So it will affect them as well.
No, now they may not know. When they don't think well, they don't think deep. They don't put that extra thinking cap on. We will now tell them, by implication, this is what you have done.
Now, you raised the objection as regards the seeming positive side to this story, which is giving younger generation the opportunity to come into workforce on time. But we are complaining about unemployment. Let's not forget that.
Look, this is an unserious government. You are complaining about unemployment
of the young people.
Wait, you are complaining about unemployment. This same government extended. You do know, lecturers in the university, judges, they retire at the age of 70. How many things do you have here at that age? And primary, secondary school teachers now, they are to retire at 65 or 40 years. When a lot of them are doctored their ages already.
Okay.
So you will see that we on one aspect, you want to encourage mediocrity and less productivity, and on the other side, you want to do away with that very vibrant set of productive sets. So that is it. I'm not against younger and fresh blood coming into the workspace. But when they come, who will guide them?
They will get experience as time goes
on the
by.
job.
On the job. Exactly.
Unfortunately, before getting that experience, they will have tumbled, fumbled, and even collapsed. And the nation will collapse along with them. Yeah. One priceless thing is experience. Many of these people at the top echelon, they don't have the experience of going to higher institutions, some of them. We call them the Association of People Without Certificates.
There's a new association in Nigeria now.
Oh, sure, now you know. One is going, maybe NEPA bill, maybe primary 6, they don't have. And the other one is coming, is claiming not to even see it, at least planning to come. So that's why people coined that name, Association of People Without Certificates. So how do you want them to take care of people with certificates? How do you want them to take care of the institution where the certificates will be obtained? So these are the things that Nigeria is battling with. My dear brother, you don't do away with experience. If not, go and look at I've just given you the analysis of a football club in England. That football club might have come tops or even come fourth, but lack of experience, they tumbled to fifth. You know the football club. So that is exactly what Nigeria is toying with.
All right, let me get straight to Mr. Adesumbo. Your own reaction to the new or the proposed retirement age, 50 years and above.
Well, comrade, I've said quite a lot.
Okay.
So I would rather go another route.
Okay.
For people to have a broad perspective of what we are talking about. It's coming from the side that they are looking at the workforce, the wage bill. So that's why they are looking for in case many Nigerians will not know that the government have actually been struggling to pay salaries. And it is not in the public domain that they are sourcing money from elsewhere to actually pay this salary, going into the ECA, for instance, excess crude account, borrowing, and sometimes, though they denied, printing new money to be able to pay salaries. So they are looking at it from that angle. But they are not facing reality that, if you are going to offer me something, I look at your appearance first to really ascertain whether you can actually, you are able to make that offering towards me. Comrade said something, rather than looking at the direction of cutting the cost of governance, they pay fast salaries to themselves. They enjoy everything free of charge. all what they use is budgeted for, and they still collect salaries. Why don't you reduce all this fat money that you are giving to yourself? You'll be saving a lot. Our lawmakers are the highest paid in the whole world, and they are among the least busy in the whole.
The least productive.
That's the word. The least productive in the entire legislative, this thing. And you begin to wonder, considering the number of days they spend on recession or on recess to the number of legislative days they actually observe within a year, and yet they collect the full year salary. And the civil servant that they are trying to reduce the strength now is not working half a month. They work full-fledged months. Sometimes those essential services will go on public holidays. Now, they are looking at it from the angle that the civil service is over-bloated. Yes, the civil service is over-bloated. But how did we get here? It is still the government that is responsible through their inactions over the years. Now, let's go back memory lane. When they were leaving schools, a good number of them are old. Right there at the graduation ceremony, companies will come with vehicles, with bearing letters of appointment to give to them, right, even before going for youth service. But all those companies, majority of them are folded up. They've left the country to set up in other places, despite the fact that we have the market here due to our population. Now, these are areas where we started having unemployment problem. Now, even organizations that had secure jobs, because of policy somersaults or insensitive measures coming from the government, they could no longer cope, so they were downsizing. In Ibadan, I tell you a story of the banking revolution in Ibadan. Comrade can back me up later. Around late 90s stroke early 2000, in Ibadan here, banks begin to open all manner of branches here. And they were bringing their employees from all over the place into Ibadan. And what happened? The rent in Ibadan skyrocketed because these are people that are coming with fat money, and it also expanded the real estate business. But what happened? Few years after that, there was a policy that the banks have to recapitalize. Margin of banks now started. They begin to lay these people off. That is the banking sector. Talk about the manufacturing. We had industrial estates in Ibadan in the past. How many of the companies in these industrial estates are actually functioning? They've all closed shop, throwing people out of the market. And now, as a result of all this downsizing and laying off of people, they look at the direction of government because of the rules guiding the civil servants. Once you enter, you can't be retrenched. There are procedures, so you stay and work till retirement. So that's job security, push people to the direction. And therefore, politicians, when they are coming up, campaigning, we'll provide jobs, we'll do this, we'll do that, and they have to live up to their words. So 2,000 teachers recruited, 1,000 teachers recruited by this particular administration this year. The following administration comes up, recruited the same amount of people or even more. That's how the civil service began to get over-bloated because that's the only source of secure job that we have in Nigeria. Now the reality has set in. And along the line, they will not take care of pensioners. So people would rather doctor their age because they don't know what will become of their fate when they retire at the due age. So you have somebody who is, the real age is 75 years and is still claiming 55 years and is still within the civil service. So that is what has created problem. And there is this imbalance in the policy decision. Comrade mentioned it. Why would you have judges increasing their years of retirement age to 70 when we are recruiting lawyers, appointing new judges every year? Why would you have lecturers when we have turning out PhD graduates? A good number of them are now without jobs because some professors will not leave the system. So these are things that is wrong. And you just increase the retirement age of the teachers, though at the federal level, the state have not said anything about it, to 65 years. And yes, there's a report which was that came out this morning that in few years' time, we will not have people left in the primary school. Is it that the NCE system is no longer functioning or the colleges of education have closed down? The answer is no. It's just because people feel the primary school system, the primary school as a place where they cannot work. And these are places where you even need more experience. So these are a combination of what has informed that idea, which is not well thought out.
Now, okay, Comrade says something about the younger generation, saying that they need the experience of the older ones. What's your take as regards that? Because I asked the question that at this point in time, when we're crying about unemployment of the youth, don't you think this policy, there could be a good side to it? I mean, from the perspective of the fact that it will give younger ones the opportunity to come into the workforce on time.
Well, Comrade has said it, and I don't need to even begin to repeat that.
Okay.
Nothing teaches better than experience. And experience is something you cannot buy over with money. Even outside of the government cycle, you'll see a vacancy and you click in to see the eligibility. You see all manner of criteria there. And one of the constant criteria that you will find under the criteria list is 5 to 10 years cognate experience in that field. What does that mean? It means that they are not ready to bring in anybody into their system that will not hit the ground running. They have entry-level position. That is entry-level. But we are talking about some certain sensitive posts here, level 12 and above. You don't bring someone who has not learned the rudiments to come and function in those places.
They can learn on the job, like I said.
There is nothing like learning on the job when it comes to certain things.
Okay.
For instance, you have not gone through residency training as a medical doctor. Can you claim to be a consultant ophthalmologist and expect to operate on people's eyes? You will just be blindfolding them. You will be rendering a lot of people blind. So that is what we call experience. There are certain things of, do you think a French lawyer that is just called into bar today will be given a senior advocate title the next year?
Of course not.
That is what we are talking about. Why didn't we say, okay, let us discard all the senior advocates that we have, and we have new, all the people that are just graduating from the law school should now be made senior advocates? No, it's not. Doesn't work like that.
Okay.
They can look at, okay, those who have spent certain number of years in the civil service. You look at them, and they are of commensurate retirement age, which is the normal way, because the civil service is like a corridor. It has an entry point and an exit point. It is just because too many people stay too long on a particular spot. For instance, there's this new innovation that the government has come up with, which is criminal. You promote somebody, and you say the promotion is just, remind me of the title. They will only promote you, you hand the level, you increase the level, but the remuneration will not be added.
Nominal
This,
effect.
you understand?
Financial effect.
You will be move from level 10 to 12, but you will still be collecting the salary of level 10. These are some of the things that has made people to keep themselves, perpetrating themselves in the civil service, which is leading to complacency that the government are complaining about.
All right, now back to Comrade Emmanuel Ogudinran. Now, the point is that they are not going to retire them just like that. They promised a retirement package, a one-off retirement package. But the other time you were saying something about that you are not even sure they are going to do that. Are you saying you don't trust the government?
I granted an interview to an international journal that categorized regular payment of salary by the Governor Seyi Makinde-led administration as an achievement. I knew how many bantams I received. And I later came back and told them, they can go and say that in Ogun State. They can say that in Osun, Ekiti, Kogi, Kwara, Kaduna, and majority of the south, of the state in the south and the southeast, leave Edo State out. That payment of salary is not an achievement. I'm telling you, in Nigeria today, apart from Lagos, Oyo, Edo, maybe Borno, go and check. So it's not only federal government, and you have just had it, and you and I know, the federal government has come out to say they are borrowing to pay salary. Somebody that is borrowing to pay salary, how will you now get that money to pay severance allowance that will be in millions? You are doing away with people. You said 50 years. Let's assume this set of people, they were so unfortunate. Maybe they got to work at the age of 25, 28. So they are putting at least 22 years of service. You are going to pay off that 22 years of service. A government that cannot pay currently, how would they get that?
So they cannot achieve that.
We know look, even the contributory pension that you just workers who contribute, you will contribute. The government of the day fund it to put their own contribution. So it's as worse as that. It's as bad as that. So they just, although, I said something elsewhere. One, the Governors Forum is not known to any Nigerian constitution content. So that forum is not constitutional. It's just a pressure group. So all what they can do is just an advice which they have given. And even they have denied it. So you see, here we are just talking because we know anything goes in Nigeria. So we want to let them see their shortcoming in the advice they give, especially on that retirement age. It's among other advice they had given. Although majority of the advice is killing. Look about tax. Anybody that is earning 30,000 naira and above, and this and that, they want to increase VAT when you are producing nothing, when you are net importer of consumption. Look, and they never talk anything about their security vote. They never talk anything about reducing the cost of governance right there at the state level.
They want the sacrifice to begin with you.
Oh, Yoruba says, these are people that will not spend more than 8 years. Look at how much, in fact, majority of them goes away with as severance allowance. And somebody who has taken the career up in the civil service to make sure this nation does not collapse, even after serving for 35 years or reaching the retirement age of 60 years, will still have to go and queue to get severance benefit. Look, all this advice is full of deceit. They never meant well for this country. Unfortunately, I said it at the beginning. No, I think the calamity is just staring them in the face. Let them try any of these very hazardous suggestions that has been brought out. The calamity will hit all of them like tornado. And everybody will be consumed. Majority of them.
Okay. Now, back to Mr. Adesumbo right now. Let's talk about that. The fact that they are going to offer a one-off kind of retirement package.
Look, wait. You know, you and I know they cannot afford it. So, you see, that is...
I can't be so sure. That's why I'm asking the question.
Wait, if we continue to echo this now, the worst they will do, they will still go out borrowing. You have just... Look, okay, MFLA is denying it, that they are not printing. But look at the spiral inflation. Look at the value of Naira falling every day. It does happen when you are not producing anything, when you are not exporting anything, and you are printing paper money. Okay. That is what, as at yesterday, how much is Naira to $1? So this is what we are battling with. And an insensitive government will now still come up with this. Look, it will lead to, in fact, the insecurity we are facing will
worsen.
I mean, God knows.
Okay, let's get to Mr. Adesumbo's side of the story. One-off retirement package. Okay, according to Comrade Emmanuel Ogunjira, it will never happen. What about you?
Of course, it's not realistic because where would they get the money from? We're talking about billions of naira here, if not trillions. Because by the time they aggregate the number of workers that they are going to pay off at the same time, they would look at the financial implication and turn back. The best thing is that, okay, it came from the Governors Forum. And thank God, Comrade, that emphasized my earlier position that is an illegal organization. It's a useless pressure group that only God knows how it came about to be. And they have workers too working for them. Let them try it in their respective states before advising the federal government. If it works in their states, the federal government will emulate.
Okay, so I said that they want the sacrifice to begin with the civil servant. What's your take? Sacrifice so as the
What
economy
happens
can
to
grow
leadership by example? The civil servants are not the leaders. It is the politicians that are the leaders. They are the known leaders. They are the constituted authority, if I'm going to use that word.
better? Okay.
Now, you lead by example. Your salary is 80 million naira plus all whatever. Reduce it to 25. You don't need more than that. For instance, let me give you, we pattern our system in line with that of the United States.
Yeah.
Do you know that in the White House, if President Biden is to host a family member that is not budgeted for, he will have to pay. The kitchen will put the bill on him and it will be deducted automatically from his salary. But here, we feed them for free, we fuel their car, they live in free apartments, and they don't even go with one car. Do you know how many aircraft that we have in the presidential fleet? To the extent that even the daughter of the president will be going on a function with the presidential jet. Did we elect the daughter or we elected the father? So these are things, wasteful lifestyle. One man will be going for an official function. About 15 vehicles will go with him, all filled up with their filling up with tanks with petrol. The petrol that we don't even produce in this country because we don't have any refinery that is functioning as of today. We import all of them. So these are areas where the value, the value of the naira had become something else. We have dollarized our economy. We value our contracts in dollars rather than naira. So because they want, the dollar will bring down the figure. But if they put it in naira, it will make it too bogus. These are things. And we prepare our budgets in naira. We value our contract in dollars. Look at that complication. To the extent that we don't even consume anything that we produce. We are carried in consume local content. The government will want to procure vehicles for themselves. They will import. And we have car assemblage in this country. So these are things that they need to work on first. It is when they have done that and we are still finding ourselves in similar situation that they cannot begin to look at the direction of the workers. It shouldn't be the other way around.
All right, now let me take it to Comrade Emmanuel Ogundiro. Now, some people have the opinion that if this retirement age should be approved, it's also encourage private sectors to do the same. So they'll be like, fine, let's also start doing the same thing right now due to paucity of funds. What's your take as regards that?
Yeah, I told you, once the head is rotten, there's nothing that will look at a drunkard. The leg did not drink, neither the arms. It's the mouth that drank, and it goes to the brain. But once the brain is malfunctioning, you know the legs will be dancing, buga, dancing, fuji. So that is exactly what will happen. You have just said it. But if it will have led to something better, if the environment in the country is good, is clean, if there is light always, good third road or good road network, affordable housing, people can put their head. Yeah, once you relieve people, in fact, we will not even be talking of government job if those conditions are available. Nigeria will have been private sector driven as it's supposed to be. It is because of the anomalies, the grave anomalies in this country that has turned the government that's supposed to be the chief regulator to become the chief employer. And so, once you have that...
So you are saying that in a saner society, this retirement age is not really a problem?
Oh, look, go to... I want to set an example of a country that I've visited, and you don't force people. In fact, they beg people to come and do government work. I don't want to go to South Africa. Go to Rwanda there. They have to be pleading that people should come and take up government appointment. In UAE, Dubai to be precise, they said it's only lazy people that goes into government job. Poor people. So, because the environment is good, the business climate, superb. When you have your brain, Look, give Nigeria 24 hours supply. Just try it within a year. If there's no light off, Nigerians don't sleep. Their brain don't sleep. Nigeria will come up with initiatives that you will be surprised of. But unfortunately, what do we have? When you be sleeping, you'll be afraid. Somebody who can come and knock at your door anytime. When there's no light. When there's no good road network. When you're not sure where your next meal will come from. So these are the things that these governors supposed to be thinking of. They have not said anything about the manufacturing sector that is dead. If the manufacturing sector is alive, the primary production sector, that is the sector that will provide the raw materials, agric, will expand. Once the manufacturing sector is expanding, the raw material sector will expand. But what are we seeing? We are net importers of consumption goods. And we consume everything, even up to toothpick. So, and they want to lay off workers that are
And
just...
we have to start from somewhere, don't forget.
Then somebody had said something. It seems you are interested in your parents being laid off. Yeah, that is the meaning. You don't know, this laying off will affect at the age 50 now. Let me tell you, you are talking of deputy directors, assistant directors, directors, and permanent secretaries. Who will replace them? You are talking of fresh graduate. So a fresh graduate that's supposed to be on level wage will now come to become a permanent secretary. A fresh graduate will now become to become an assistant director. Look, there are things that are not practicable. Yeah, and that is the fact.
All right, let me move to Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko right now. Like I said, some people believe that this will encourage private parastatals to also replicate the same pattern. What's your take as regards that?
As a matter of fact, they've already been doing it. I told you what happened in the banking sector. When the banks were asked to recapitalize and they have to merge to be able to meet up with that policy, a lot of people were laid off. I told you what happened to the manufacturing sectors. When those companies were closing down and moving to Ghana and other African countries, they did not move their workers with them. They left them here. In the labor market, and a good number of those people, some of them that were lucky, ended up in the civil service. So these are things that the private sector had already been doing. They look at their wage bill once in a while. If it is becoming too, even government policies have led to that in recent time. How much do you buy diesel per liter here? Now look at those organizations that power their businesses with diesel. That's one thing that has collapsed, and it's because of the nonsense power system that we are practicing. How can a country with 200 million population be relying on one single grid to supply electricity? That is an aberration. We can have a national grid, but only as a backup. Only, I'm repeating, as a backup, not as a main supply. Now the problem is that the generation will produce, the transmission will not be able to transmit what has been generated to the distribution sector. And the distributors too, they want to be collecting money without investing a kobo into it. In your area, the transformer that the discos inherited, have they changed it? It is still the same transformer that they are using. And this is an area where the transformer, when it was bought, you have just 200 houses in that place. Now you have about 1,000 houses. You are still using the same transformer.
The same capacity.
The same capacity. And you expect not to be having power outage. Now, when there is a power outage, look at what happened to the businesses in that environment. Let me make myself clearer. Because Comrade mentioned it that give us 24 hours just for 1 year. 24 hours power supply for 1 year and see what will happen. If you want to go into barbing business, for instance, you don't need to rent any shop. You only need your clipper. And locate the nearest socket and get a stool, and you begin to barb. But because there is no constant power, you will now need to buy a generator. And you cannot put your generating set at the door mouth or by the window side of anybody. You will need a space of your own that you can lay ownership of. That means you are now in need of a shop. So a business that is not supposed to cost more than 30,000 to set up, because you will need to buy a generator, you will need to rent a shop, you will now be needing about 200,000 to set up that business. Now, how do you make your turnover within 6 months if you are going to borrow money to set up that business. That is the situation that an average Nigerian is facing now. Now, because we don't refine here, we import everything. The importation has jacked up the price of the petroleum products, which has led to a corresponding increase in the prices of commodities. Now, that has gone up. How much are they paying these workers? 30,000 minimum wage. Now, you expect someone that is earning 30,000. If you have a family of 4, just himself, the wife, and 2 children, how much do you think it takes to feed 2 children in a day? You spend, if you manage, you will spend 1,000 naira. I said if you manage, comrade. If you manage, just the children, no. Say if you want to go on fasting. Now, that's 1,000 naira multiplied by 30 days. Are you going to just be using the 30,000 to eat? These are facts that we are putting before the government to see that they are just not being sincere with themselves.
All right, now to Comrade Emmanuel Ogudira, on 30,000 naira minimum wage, I want to believe that all the state government are already on it. I want to believe that we are no longer on this issue of 30,000 naira minimum wage, or am I wrong?
Yeah, by the content of the law, minimum.
Okay.
I don't think there's any state that pays less than 30 minimum.
Okay.
But is it across board? Very big question mark. By even the federal government.
Okay, now, so another important discussion by the Nigerian Governors Forum in that meeting with the president was the Stephen Orosai report. And one of the recommendations of the Stephen Orosai report, it suggests shutdown of agencies and parastatals with duplicated functions.
Collapsing. Margin. Not shutdown. Margin.
Or margin, rather, of some certain parastatals. Or what's your take as regards that?
Oh, well, the question first is, why the bifurcation or the duplicity in the first case? So the reason for that, is it no more there? And we are not, I'm now talking as a labor leader, we are not against merging, we are not against collapsing, we are not, but once it comes with no loss of job, we are okay, we are cool. Yeah.
But it's likely to bring about that anyways.
Then they dare not do it just like that. Yes. And that's why we ask, what brought about the bifurcation in the first place that led to multiplicity of functions?
But now they've realized their wrongs and
Good.
they want to right their
And that
wrongs.
is, then you don't blame Paul for the fault of Apollo. That's why we said, you may collapse the agency. Fine. No job loss. We are good to go. And the government will even have rest. Look, the more the government of the day encourage people to go back to the labor market, the more the government of the day encourage vices in this country. Go and ask them. If not for the free money they are seeing, are they enjoying? If you now have some of them doing certain things that are good about infrastructure, you have to, because how many of them now go by road to anywhere they are going? They fly in the air. That's why many of them can afford to leave Abuja, go to Accra for breakfast, go to Freetown for breakfast, and still come back. So, and in that case, you now say you want people to be seeing you living those bourgeois life, and you want to turn some people down to the labor market. Could it work?
All right, to Mr. Desumbo right now. Stephen Orosai reports actually suggests the merging of some parastatals with duplicated functions. And don't you think it's one of the loopholes that we have to start addressing right now? But according to Comrade Emmanuel Ogudira, it wouldn't want the sacking of workers. Though they can merge, they can collapse the various parastatals, but the workers should not be laid off. Your reaction to that?
Look, that report has so many provisions inside of it.
Of course, that's just one
and
of
that
it.
is just one of it. And that is the only part that we make noise about. How about the part that talks about cutting down the cost of governance? Reducing the overhead.
They will not say anything about
What happened to that part? You understand what I'm saying? So we have an insincere government in place at all levels. And Corinne and I was discussing it before we entered the studio, that the system is so structured in a way that the governors have hiding place. Even though they are closest or closer to the people, they commit more evil than the federal government. I am not sorry to use that word, but that is the truth. For instance, what are they doing to bring down the cost of food items at all states? This is a country where there is no part, even in Yobe State, where you have the Sahara encroachment. If you still plant something there, it will grow. It will grow. Now, we have left our land uncultivated, allowing criminals to now, those uncultivated land have grown to become forests. And now criminals are hiding there because the government is not using the land for any productive activities. If those land had been used for productive activity, it will not be easy for any criminals to come and encroach and be hiding. Travel from Lagos to Ibadan, look at what you see on both sides, bushes. Now, the ones that are closer to the town, we sell to developers to build houses that people cannot afford to live inside. And those places will just be there, unoccupied. The one that you can't sell to developers, you sell to religious organizations to be coming to gather once or twice in a month to pray.
And encourage laziness.
And encourage. When you pray, even the Bible says you must walk. You walk, then you
Faith
pray.
without work is dead.
Because when it is your work that your prayer will walk upon. But that's the way we use land in this place. You understand? And so many factories that were productive factories before have been sold to churches. They are now, which are not producing anything of economic value. So that is what has brought us to this level. You can imagine Oyo State's land mass is equivalent to that of the entire 5 southeastern states. Just one state here. Now, if those land, by virtue of the law, the governor is the landlord. He holds the land in trust for the people. The federal government cannot come to a state without his approval to get the land. Now, why are the lands not being used? Comrade mention of manufacturing sector will do what? Will trigger the primary sector, which is the raw material sector. That is agriculture. Even without the manufacturing, this state government, for instance, has been doing agro-business seminar, and each time they promote the thing on air, I laugh that this is an unserious government. Agro-business to produce what? Where are the agricultural produce that this agro-business want to now begin to develop? You have not done that. Is it the one coming from the north that they will not be developing? When you have land that are not used, and you are saying S-men and the bandits are encroaching. So these are things that
the government should
be doing to get the population active. And when there are more businesses, more companies, you get more tax revenue. Then you can now begin to use that to take care of your own expenses.
Okay, let's open the studio lines for people to be part of the conversation this morning. 0908 111 1067, 0908 111 1067, 0805 908 1067, 0908 111 1067, 0805 908 1067. If you're just joining us, we are talking about the proposed retirement age, 50 years and above should be retired compulsorily, of course, with a package anyways. So you can be part of the conversation this morning by calling the studio lines. We have someone on the line right now. Hello, good morning.
Sorry, before that one, I just want to add.
Sorry, let's
from the federal government, I mean from the governor's suggestion. Do you see anything on local government autonomy? Do you see anything?
All right, so let's get that. Hello, good morning.
Hello? Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Augustine Femi. I'll be listening to all of you this morning. But you see, what the government are failed to address is even the assessment of themselves. From a reliable source, do you know what ex-governor is taking annually? Almost 700 million. Have they even planned to reduce the cost of governance? What ex-minister, ex-senators is taking yearly? And somebody will now retire after 35 years as a teacher. You give such a person like 4 million naira as a gratuity, 55,000 naira or 60,000 naira as pension. How much are they even paying the civil servants we are talking about? How much are they paying them? These are the things that need to be addressed. There is even inequality in the civil service. Somebody is on level 8 collecting 60,000, and somebody on level 8 in another organization, same country, collecting like 450,000 naira.
All right,
These are the things that need to be addressed.
All
The
right.
country, the government, sincerely, they don't have economic skills.
All right, thank you so much. I've gotten your point. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where
Yeah,
you're
this is Michael, calling from UI.
All right, go ahead.
I think we should tell ourselves the truth. We have overbloated civil service in this country. Go to our ministry, you see 9 drivers struggling for one vehicle. It's not done. Look at the economy of this country. The way things are going, I can tell you very soon the state governor and the federal will start downsizing. That's the truth. Most of the ministers are not doing anything. They are just there. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. 0908-111-1067, 0805-908-1067, 0908-111-1067, 0805-908-1067. Let's pick this call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm Gideon. I'm calling from Mokola. Now, those governors that raise those issues, they should stop hiding under the umbrella of governors. We want to know them individually, each one of them.
Yes, go ahead.
They should come out. Yeah, they should come out they should come out without hiding under any governors forum. And governors also of this state we want to know the governor that said that. I'm not the civil servant, but we want to know. Now, secondly, on the agriculture, I would like to blame these governors also on agriculture. Though we have a very advanced system that everything is centralized in this country. It's agriculture, but the Ministry of Agriculture should not even be under the federal government and the state government. It should be a purely local government thing. Now, I wondered when you pick beans in front of your house and you throw the dirt of the beans, if you have a soil that is not concreted, and the beans will start growing, and we have a government, both state, federal, and local government in this country, that we cannot even produce anything. What is wrong with us in this country? I don't know.
All right, so it's like you have a reaction to one of the callers.
The penultimate caller talk about overbloated. Who created it? And that caller has not seen that we have politicians collecting money, doing nothing in this country.
Okay.
See, this is the politicians, they love themselves. It is those of us that are the masses that we don't love ourselves. And that is the problem. Why do we need bicameral house in a country like Nigeria? Look at all those councillors, supervisory councillors. Why do you need them when they are not even functioning and they are collecting money? Look at the retinue of assistants, special advisors, or whatever that each of them goes along with. Why do we need them? So you see, people were they were very eager to shout about overbloated civil service.
All right, we have a call right now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? Quickly.
I am Muidin Adeoye from Ibadan.
All right, your
thoughts. Thank you so much for picking up my call. I've been listening to your program from the beginning. Thank you. You've really made a lot of sense. Like seriously, this country is in the very big mess. The very big mess. See, to start with, that Governors Forum, what do they call themselves?
Nigerian Governors
Forum, like you have said there. Are they protecting themselves against the presidency or what? I don't even know. The kind of forum the new first one. And apart from that, you are saying, it's like they don't even know what they're saying. Don't they know that the civil service is also the public service? Don't they know they are also public servants? I don't even know.
All right, thank you so much. Now, Comrade Imale, let's talk about this now. Also strike. Yes, I remember some weeks ago, organized labor said, if the federal government fails to do something about also strike, we're going to shut down some certain sectors of the economy. How far with that now?
Yeah, the plan is still on.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if the government had not started engaging ASU, government should have here. But you will see that the National Association of Nigerian Students, they are now seriously mobilizing to join that nationwide strike and protest. It's not going to be only strike. It's now going to be strike, cum, protest. I don't see. I said it at the intro. Maybe because some of them don't have that advantage, or because they want to falsify their age, they were hiding some certificates. You know what is happening? These people, they have succeeded in killing the primary education sector. You have more private primary schools in Nigeria than public primary schools. They have succeeded in maiming and rendering handicapped the secondary education sector, because we have more private secondary schools, exorbitant ones, than the public secondary schools. And that is, even as at now, that they have not, they just totally want to kill the tertiary. As at the last count, we have more private universities in Nigeria than federal and state universities combined. So where are we going? They want everybody to go private. But they will not succeed. Because, look at, and that's why we are afraid of many of them. They wanted to come and finish their unfinished job. Do you know that in the last 7 months now, there is no single liter of fuel to be lifted at any government depot? And Nigeria continue to pay subsidy. That means you are paying subsidy for fuel that have been imported and lifted at private depot. Who does that and survive?
Okay.
So that is exactly, but we thank God. Let's hope government will now be reasonable and do the needful. At this, the meeting being scheduled is the last hope of government.
Which is going
God be with them if they don't do the needful.
May God be with all of us. Now to Mr. Adesu.
No, sorry, you came out from one tertiary institution.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know how long. If it is 3, 4, 5 years ago, you can go back to that institution. You will weep that it wasn't like this when I was there. Just leave us, at least the two of us here. I'm talking. We left university almost 30, 40 years ago. But go there. You that recently left the tertiary institution, you weep. But, you know, they want to give the dog a bad name. They were saying it is only UTAS and IPPIS. ASU was asking for re-energizing the Nigerian universities.
All right, so your final thoughts. Okay, let me take your thoughts as regards ASU strike as well, Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko, before we wrap it up on the show this morning.
Unfortunately, that has become a national embarrassment. And I will only appeal to government to reason along with ASU. Yes, on the part, ASU has its own shortcomings as well. But that notwithstanding, it is still the government that will take the most hit. And they need to just find a way to resolve this issue so that the national embarrassment would be taken off the country.
All right, well, there's a meeting today. We hope that all the grey areas will be resolved by both parties. All right, I must thank you so much, Comrade Emmanuel Ogunjino, the Chairman, Trade Union Congress, TUC, or your State Council. Thank you so much.
Oh,
and congratulations once again on your appointment.
Thank you very much.
And to Mr. Adesumbo Badejoko, historian and public affairs analyst, thank you so much for being with me.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. And congratulations, comrade.
Thank you very much.
And to our dear listeners and all those who drop their comments on our Facebook page, thank you so much for being a part of Trending from the Stables of Pensioners 106.7 FM. On behalf of the producer of Trending, Babatude Tiamiyu, the DC on duty, Shimawa MC Prince, as well as the entire members of production crew, I am Israel Adejobi. Do enjoy the rest of your day.